welcome to another interesting episode on past questions and answers. Today I'm walking you through a series of carefully curated questions and answers designed to help applicants prepare effectively for the Federal Civil Service Commission application process. If you may be wondering, what does the Federal Civil Service Commission means? How can you undergo the application, submit your application, and be shortlisted for the CBT section? Head back to our channel because we've done a video on what it entails, the things, your requirements, the recruitment process, step by steps, what you need to do at what point in time. But in this presentation today, I'm going to cover areas in relation to what you should expect when it comes to the CBT section. This presentation entails general knowledge, the aptitude test that covers both quantitative, verbal reasoning, behavioral interview questions, situational judgment scenarios, whether you're applying for a policy role, administrative position, or in technical posts. These questions reflect the values, skills, and judgment expected of a competent civil servant. The goal here is not only to help you pass the test, but to prepare you to serve with excellence, integrity, and purpose. So let's begin with a breakdown of the quantitative section. As you can see, this question is kind of tricky. It says last year, Josie sold a painting of $2,000. If he made a profit on the sales, how much had he paid for the painting? So we have the option A, B, C, D, and E. And the correct answer here is C. Solution says Josie made 25% profits. So if he bought painting for X, he sold it for X plus 0.2.5. X equals to 1.2.5x equals to 2000 x. Then 2000 divided by 1.25, which gave us $1,600. For the next question, he says in the figure below, what is the value of B? There's supposed to be a diagram here. Sorry, that was omitted, so we just have to skip this question. Here says, what is 25% of 360? You know that 360 is a complete circle and it has 4 quadrants, right? Just give me a moment. So what is 25% of 360? And I said earlier that 360 is a complete circle. And for a complete circle, it has 4 quadrants, which is 1/4. So 25% is equals to 1/4. If you cross multiply, we then give you 360 divided by 4, which gave us 90. Hence why the answer is B. The next question says solve 12 plus bracket open 3 times 4 minus 5. To answer this question, you could remember, if you can recall, while in primary school, that easy principle they gave us then on board maths: brackets, or division, addition, multiplication. So you have to implement that principle in this question, which we then went for. We focused on the bracket, which is 3 times 4, giving you 12. 12 plus 12, giving you 24. Then 24 minus 5, which is 19. The answer is supposed to be B. So I apologize for saying the answer is C based on the solution. For the next question, it says, if a can of malt costs 65 naira, how much is a dozen? You know a dozen contains 12, so if a can of malt is 65, how much would be 12 dozen? That is a dozen, which is 12 in number. So it means you have to multiply 12 multiplied by 65. That was how we got 780 as the correct answer. The next question says, which number is a multiple of both 4 and 6? Multiple means, so 12. The correct answer here is 12, which means 12 is the largest common multiple of 4 and 6. Heading on to the verbal reasoning. The first question says, synonym for benevolence is what? First, you need to understand what's the meaning of benevolence, which means kind, generous. So the synonym means, what other word can you use in place of, you say this man is benevolent or she is benevolent. Another word you could likely use, which is closest among the option here, is kind. That was how we arrived at B being the correct answer. The opposite of transparent. One tip I would give you why focusing or why answering the verbal reasoning section is, when you meet questions like this, you first need to understand what is the meaning of the word being highlighted in a quotation mark. So once you understand what that word means, it won't be difficult to know what the opposite means or what the synonym means and all of that. So once you've understood, okay, transparent is something that can be seen, can be clear, and the opposite definitely will be what can't be clear or what isn't transparent, which is opaque. The next question says, choose the correct sentence. She have gone to the market. B says she has gone to the market. Obviously, that sounds correct. C says she has gone to the market. D says she are gone. Can't be are because it's one person we're talking about. Say has agrees with the singular subject of she. Choose the best completion, the teacher as well as the students dash present. So the subject here is singular, so which is the teacher, and for a singular sentence, the right thing to be in that space is. So it says the teacher as well as the student is present. I know many of us will end up clicking so be mindful of that. Be sure if the subject matter is plural or singular. Choose the correct spelling. This question can be very tricky if you don't look into it properly, because all the other options may likely look like the correct spelling. But once you know how to spell the actual word, this wouldn't be difficult for you to navigate. For accommodate, you can see that the correct spelling here has a double C and a double M, which is option C. Identify the noun in this sentence. What is a noun? That should be your first question. The noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or things. And the question says education is the key to success. So what is the noun? Noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or things. So the subject here and the noun here is education. We're heading on to the current affairs. Current affairs, you need to have an idea of so far the history of Nigeria. Before I go any further, be mindful that these questions are not the current affairs correctly. You need to have an idea of history of Nigeria, the government affairs, as well as civil service history as well. Now the first question says the capital of Kwara State is dash. You should know your state and capitals at your fingertip. And the correct answer is Ilorin, which is the capital of Kwara State. The next one says, who is Nigeria's current Chief of Defense Staff? So as of previous year, which was 2024, he is Christopher Musa, amongst the other options being listed here. Which is the highest court in Nigeria? Is the Supreme Court, because it is the final authority. What year did Nigeria gain independence? If you're a Nigerian, you need to even know this question. If they wake you up from sleep, it should be something you can answer easily. Out of the other options, the first option says A, 1960, B, 1963, C, 1957, D, 1970, and the correct answer is 1960, because Nigeria became independent on October 1st, 1960. What is the function of the Federal Civil Service Commission? Before you can answer this correctly, you need to have understood or have gone through the Federal Civil Service Commission website to know what their vision is, what their mandate is, for you to really know what they do. And the main responsibility of the Federal Civil Service Commission here is to recruit civil service. So the Federal Civil Service Commission handles recruitment and appointments in federal ministries. Which Nigerian agency manages NYSC? Out of the other options, the correct answer here is NYSC Directorate. Which animal is on the Nigerian coat of arms? A says lion, B says eagle, C says horse, and D zebra. The correct answer here is C, being horse. Next up is our behavioral questions. Behavioral questions just would want to test your knowledge on how you behave in your work environment, how you behaved in time past, how you would behave if being recruited. The first question says, tell us about the time you worked under pressure. Here, they are trying to test your knowledge on how you handle pressure, or if you're being faced with pressure, how would you handle pressure? My sample answer here says, during my internship, I was given a last-minute task to edit a proposal for submission within 2 hours. I prioritized sections, kept calm, and completed it on time with minimal errors. And why does this answer work? Because it shows time management, focus, and composure. Another tip I would love to drop is when answering questions, behavioral questions like this, you use the STAR method, stating the situation, the task, the achievements, Our next question says, describe a time you had a conflict with a colleague and how you handled it. So here you could see the situation, the task. So from here you'd see, using the STAR method to respond to this question, you see the situation which set context for the story you're about to tell, the task to describe the task or challenge you faced, the action explaining the specific actions you took to address the task or challenge, and then the results, sharing your outcome or results for your actions. And the good thing about this is we've done a video covering how to use the STAR method to answer questions in an interview. So in case you have no idea what STAR method is, what are STAR method questions, and how to respond to them, please go back to our channel. We'll have a series of videos covering that. Have you ever made a mistake at work? What did you do? And the correct response here is yes, I once submitted a report with outdated data. I owned up, apologized, and corrected it quickly. I also created a checklist to avoid future errors. From here, you can see the situation stating that there was a time I needed to submit a report And then I was given the task to update the data to avoid errors. And the action I took, because I did a mistake while updating the data, the action I took was to apologize, acknowledging my wrong and corrected it. Then my result was I eventually created a checklist to avoid future errors. Describe a time when you had to learn something quickly. You see the same thing about situation. The situation here is joining NGO project. The task, describing the task or challenge here is learning how to use Google Sheet in 2 days. The action taken here was to watch tutorials and practice it, and the results, as you can see, is it became a an easy tool to be used to make my task easier. So why this answer works? Because it shows adaptability and willingness to learn. When you see questions like, tell me about a time you showed leadership, don't confuse this question for, I've never been in a leadership position before. Even if you're a first child in your family, that is a leadership position. So try to tweak and give your response in line to your past experiences, showcasing the situation, like I said earlier, using the STAR method to respond. So there's never a situation, there's never a way you would face such questions that you don't have an experience to back it up with. So in this place, my sample answer is in school. School group lacked direction. I took initiative, assigned roles, and scheduled follow-ups. We completed the assignment before deadline. And why this question or why this sample answer works is because it demonstrates initiative and leadership potential. Our last section for our question today is the situation. Regularly arrives late, affecting the team's output. What do you do? So we have options A to D. Option A says report them immediately. Option B says gossip to others about it. Option C says privately talk to them to understand the issue. And D says do their work for them. Correct answer here is C. The other one says you notice a mistake in a senior officer report. What do you do? The correct answer here is C, because it shows respect, discretion, and responsibility. The next one says you notice a mistake in a senior officer's report. What do you do? Do you ignore it, correct it without telling them, respectfully raise it with them privately, or complain to others? So C is the correct answer because it shows respect, discretion, and responsibility. The next question says, you're given a task outside your work or job description. How do you respond? Do you refuse it, complain to the HR, take it as an opportunity to learn and seek support if needed, or ignore the task? And the correct answer is C, because it shows flexibility and a growth mindset. The last question says, a citizen is frustrated and goodbye seeking help. What do you do? Do you either respond to them rudely to walk away, stay calm, listen, and provide support, or report them to the police? The C is the correct one because it shows professionalism and emotional control. Okay, sorry. I think this is the last one. So your supervisor is absent and a time-sensitive decision needs to be made. What do you do? Do you make the decision without consulting, ignore the task, escalate to the next senior officer, or you delete it out until the senior supervisor returns. Which do you take as the correct answer? And our correct answer here is follows protocol and ensures the work is done. So, the right answer says the answer is to escalate to the next senior officer, and this answer is correct because it follows protocols and ensures the work is done. The continuity of the work continues. So we've come to a wrap around 30 sample question and answer on the Federal Civil Service Commission recruitment section. As of today being May, the shortlisted candidates are yet to be listed out or contacted. But if you sent in an application to be recruited, please use this time to practice your questions and answers, practice your composure, plan ahead of your interview, be optimistic and be prepared. And you know the popular saying that goes, practice makes perfect. And if you're looking out for getting more info on how the recruitment process was done, what are the T's you need to cross or the I's that you need to dot, you could check our website on www.thefasthire.org, where we've written articles that can help you, guide you, and give you the right answers to those questions bothering you. But if you have further questions as regards this presentation, you have questions as regards the Federal Civil Service Commission recruitment process, or any other question about job, career, academics, you could drop them down in the comment section and we'll respond to them. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Subscribe, share to your friends, share to your family, share to those who need this. And so when I come again next time, I wish you the best of luck in your application. See you at the top.